Alright, here we go. We're talking about exponents today, and this is something that causes some people some problems, so we just need to focus in on this one. I'm sure you'll get it. It's not too difficult, but it leaves a lot of room for silly mistakes. So put your name at the top left for sure, put the date on this bad boy, and also give it a title, and here we go. So exponents signal repeated multiplication. So often when people learn multiplication, they learn that if you add the same thing over and over again, you can just write it as a multiplication statement. But if you're multiplying over and over again, you're multiplying the same number times itself multiple times, then we can express that with exponents. And so that's why they're pretty useful. There are two parts to recognizing exponents or an exponential expression. The big number is called the base, and it gets multiplied repeatedly. So in this case, 9 is our base, and 9 is what's going to be repeated over and over again. So this is the base. And then the second number is this little number up and to the right. That's called the exponent or the power. Like power, like I have a lot of. Or the degree. Like my deodorant, which you guys do not wear enough of, you middle schoolers. So we have the exponent, the power degree. That tells us how many times we're going to multiply the base times itself. So in something like this, 9 to the third power, or 9 with an exponent of 3, or 9 to degree 3, we're never going to multiply 3. We're just going to multiply the 9 3 times is what's going to happen. And we're going to look at that in an example. So here we go. Make sure you have these notes. And we're going to now do our example section. So please write example so we know that you're in this section and underline it for me. This first one says simplify 4 to the third power. And so we know that 4 is the base here. So that's the number that's getting repeatedly multiplied. We're going to do 4, and it's always multiplication that we're doing, so we'll do 4 times itself 3 times. Easy enough. And then we can just go through and multiply in order from left to right. 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 times 4 is going to give us a total of 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. 64. So you don't have to show all the work for that one if you can try and keep track of it and do that one in your head. Another way to multiply by 4 is to multiply by 2 and then multiply by 2 again. So you could say 16 times 2 is 32. And 32 times 2 is 64. The big thing I want to point out here is that people will often see something like 4 to the third, and they'll know that exponents tell us about multiplication, but they'll rush. And so they'll say 4 to the third is equal to 12, which it is not. We do not multiply by 3. We multiply 4 3 times, but we're not multiplying by 3. Number 2, write in exponential form. 5 times 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 5. That's annoying to write out. It would also be annoying to multiply out, but notice this just asks for it in exponential form, so we don't need to multiply it out. We just need to simplify it and write it with an exponent. Now, if you're looking at this, the first question should be, what is my base? What are we repeatedly multiplying? And that's a 5. And then the second question is, what's the exponent? How many times do we multiply 5 times itself? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 5, so this would be 5 to the 9th power. Great. Number 3, Mr. S has 3 bags from trick-or-treating. Each bag has 3 boxes. Each box has 3 candy bars. How many candy bars does Mr. S have? Write using exponents, then solve. And a lot of times people will ignore. They'll just try and zip through and solve it. But this says write using exponents, so we know to get full credit we need to write using exponents first. So what are we going to do to solve this? What are we repeatedly multiplying? Well, I know I have 3 bags. And each of those bags is a group of 3 boxes. So I know that I'm going to do 3 times 3. I have 3 groups of 3. And then once I figure out how many boxes I have, then I know that each box has 3 candy bars. So I need to multiply by 3 again. So if I'm going to write this using exponents, my base is 3. But in this case, my exponent is also 3 because we multiplied by itself 3 times. But they also wanted us to solve. So we need to say 3 times 3 is 9. And we need to multiply by that last 3. And it would give us 27. So he has 27 candies. Jealous? Probably. 27. There you go. Still looks awful, but a little bit better. He has 27 candies. Leave you with the practice problems as always. First one, write in exponential notation. Again, you do not have to write it out. Just write it in exponential notation. And for 2 and 3, please write that out. It says simplify 2 to the 4th. So you have to find out what is that equal to. Don't just write out the multiplication. You have to also do the multiplication. So for 2 and 3, 2 to the 4th, and then 4 to the 2nd power. figure those out for me, and I'll see you tomorrow in class.